Welcome back to the session of DevOps. In this series, we are trying to understand what are the different tools we are need to go with the DevOps, and using those tools, what's benefit you will get, what new things you will learn, and how you can implement those things in the real time scenarios. And today in our series, we are going to cover a thing called as a LAMP setup. Now, what is a LAMP? LAMP is basically Linux, Apache, MySQL and PHP. Now, this is a combination of many things. So, here we start Apache as a web server and MySQL as your database, and you have the PHP as your programming language, and you will go with that. Now, where we will use this LAMP setup? So, LAMP has a very wide coverage, very wide use in the real time industry. Nearly 80% to 90% of the website are in the LAMP setup. Now, sometimes they also called as a WAMP. So, WAMP is basically you will go on the Windows platform, which is the Windows operating system, Microsoft Windows, and then you will go with Apache, MySQL and PHP. So, this is a very popular framework. This is a very useful framework. Now, let us see what are the uses of that. So, when we are going to use in the real time, you will set up a WordPress site, or you will go and set up Drupal, you will go with the Joomla, you will go with the Coordinator and lot tool. So, your bug tracking tool, your ticketing tool, lots of tools are available which are on this framework. Now, here are the very fundamental things that what we will try to understand and talk about. So, what is a web server? So, web server is nothing but it is a collection of multiple websites, a physical machine or a virtual machine which will have one or more websites. So, what is a website? It is a collection of web pages. It is a collection of web pages written in HTML format. Now, what is the HTML? HTML basically is a tagging language, and with the tags you will create some pages and you will work with those pages and you will share your document on the website. Now, once we understand that what is a website is a collection of pages, then we will go further and we will try to understand what are the technologies used here to create a website or web pages. So, technologies. Now, we will basically compare two technologies. One is the basics of the Java technology, Java based technology, and one we will go with the web technology, which is the non-Java technology. Of course, there are a lot of different platforms available for that. So, let us see what are the web servers we can have in the Java. So, it is like a Tomcat, or sometimes it is also called as Apache Tomcat, and you will have the JBoss, the WebSphere, and so many things are available in the web server. On the non-Java things, you have HTTPD, or simply they say as Apache. Then you will have another server like NGINX. So, you will go with that and you will have and launch your website on these particular stuff. Then you will go and you will have the languages. Now, languages typically you will purely go with the Java language, but with non-Java things you will have the PHP, you will have Python, Ruby and so on. You can have Perl and other languages also you can use with this non-Java. Now, what is a good example of that? So, let us say banking applications are the good examples of the Java based things, and what is a good example for the non-Java? Facebook. So, Facebook is completely written in PHP, and we can understand that a lot of good things are available with the Facebook. So, you can have, or you can see that we have equal power in the technology. Either you go with the Java or non-Java, you will able to get the equal capability of the website. Now, it is a choice and preference of the organization that which technology they would like to go and they would like to perform, and how they want to go ahead with their applications and development. So, either they can go with the Java based technology or they can go with the non-Java based technology. Now, we are going to talk about the non-Java based technology, where you will go and you will have your websites available. Now, typically you are going to use HTTPD. Now, this is, or we can say Apache, simple Apache or HTTPD. Now, it has a good capability of doing lots and lots of operations with that. Now, let's talk about that server. So you can have multiple types of websites. So first is the IP based web hosting or web hosting. You can have port based web hosting, and you will have the name based web hosting. Now this is the real popular in the real time. So people will go and have multiple websites on this HTTPD daemon, HTTPD package and stuff. Now we are going to install a quick web server, and we will be able to see the different things that what you can go along, how you can work with the web server and go with that. So we are hosting only one website at this moment, just to demonstrate that how quickly you can get the website, how quickly you can set up those things, and you can work along with that. And with that you will able to get a lot of advantages. Now when we are going to work, we have to go with some technical details. So what are the technical details? So technical details, which package which we are going to use. So we will say we are going to use the HTTPD package, and what is the port number it supports. So we say we are going with the by default the port number 80. What is the first page by default? So the first page by default is the index.html, and where it will get stored. So we will say the document root, and we will have the document root in the var.html, and where we will have these configurations of the web server. So I will say configuration file. So you need to go in the etc httpd/conf/httpd.conf file. Now this is the important file, this is the master file for controlling of all your Apache activity. Then we will go with the logs. So logs are stored typically in the area /etc/httpd.logs. So you can go and you can get the logs and you can work with that. So this is what is the technical detail in a nutshell. A lot of details are there, but still we are going with the basics and the important one, that what we need to go and work with that. Now in this we will go and try to work. Now I am assuming that you understood what is the IP address, what is the port and other stuff, that we are already covering in our basics of the networking, where we will teach you what are the networking things, what is the NAT, what is the DHCP, DNS and other stuff. But in this case we are just going with a plain web server. That way it will have a pure simple page, and then we can go along with that. Now once we have this installation of packages, definitely we will have a lot of parameters. So we are going to cover in deep down in our sessions, that what are the things, what are the different parameters available and things we can do. Now let us go and have the installation of this web server. So I will go with that, and I will say install HTTPD. Now it says that, hey, are you a sudo admin, and if you have sudo access, it will give the access for the first time and will ask this question and give the lecture to you. So I will just go further, I will install the package, and I say yes, please go ahead and install the package. Now we can see that the package has been installed in the system. Now how to check? So I will say RPM, and I will confirm that my package is available. Yes, so I can see that I have the package and I have installed the version HTTPD 2.4. Now this version is the latest available with our CentOS 7. We are using CentOS 7. So these are the latest, whatever is available, it will download and it will install that version. Now as we mentioned in our technical details, okay, so let us go and start the service. So how you can start the service? So there are some commands related with that. Now what are the commands here? So commands here, what we are giving is the starting systemctl start HTTPD service, and it will start the service. We will check the process is running, and we will go with that, and we will say that, hey, is my process running, it's the port number which is available here. I will go with the whatever the default port number, and that is we will check. So let us go and do that and check that. So I will say, is my process is running? Before we start, we are checking, so we should know the conditions. So let us go and see that. So there is no processes are running, check the port number. So we will check the port number, and you will go with that. So now what is this options like PS-EF? So E is for extra inputs, and F is for a long name, you can go with that, and I don't have the netstat installed here. So, let me quickly install the netstat command, and that way it will help me to go with that. So, here I am installing the netstat command, so that I can see the port number and statistics. So, I will go with that. Now, here I can see that there is no port number at this moment, it is shown into the screen. Now, let us start the service. So, I will say hey system, and I will say start and the service. So, we are going to start the service. Here we started the service. Now, let us go and confirm. Now, we started. So, what we should expect out of that? So, we will see that we have seen the server. Now, we can see here the process is running and the web server is up and running. Similarly, if we go with the port number, and I will check the port number, and we can see that the port number is available here. So, we can confirm that now my web server is running. Wow, good. So, what is that? Let us go and confirm really. So, we will go to our browser and we will give the IP address and we will work on that. So, my system IP is 8, so 192.168.0.8, and let us go and confirm that it is going to happen or not. Wow. So, we can see that we have the test page up and running. Now, basically this is not the real page, this is the error message, this is the welcome. Now, we can see and we can understand here, it is completely given the details here. Hey, if you are the administrator, now you should go in this directory and put your web content. Otherwise, you will see this default page. Here is the welcome.conf, and this page is called as a welcome page. This page is called a welcome page. This is not your real website page, but this is the welcome page. Now, what we will do? We will go and put the page. We will go and put our page. So, here is our web page available. So, it says var www HTML. So, we will go in that directory and we will see that. So, let us go and see that. So, I will say cd var www HTML. Now, first time we have installed the web server. So, we should not expect anything, and that is what is there. So, we do not have anything. Now, we said that our first file is always the index.html. So, let us go and create our index.html. So, I will say index dot, and we will go with that. So, I will type the index tags. So, this is called as the index tags. So, this is the HTML tag, this is the title, and we will say welcome to DevOps, and we will go with the title. Then we will go with the headers. So, I will say this is Apache demo, and then we will go with that. So, I will say the tag close. So, here is the tag close, and then we will again go with the body of the message. We will say we are learning a LAMP, in that we are covering our HTTPD or Apache, and we will go with that. We will close that body, and lastly we will say that I want to close the section with the HTML tag. Wow. So, we have created our first page, and this is your first page which look like on the browser. Now, when we are going with the browser, we are going with that. Now, it is saying, hey, you do not have the permissions to go along with that. So, what we will do? It says we do not have permissions to go along with that. So, what we will do? We will copy these lines, because it says, hey, you are not having right permissions to go with that. So, I will go out and I will say sudo, because in the var HTML you will not able to directly create the file. It is owned by the different user. So, I will copy and paste it, and then let us go back. So, now I am again back to my browser. So, what we are doing here? So, we will refresh the page, and we can see there that whatever the title we have given, the title comes here, welcome to DevOps, and then what we say, this is the Apache demo, and we are learning LAMP, and in that we are covering the HTTPD or Apache module. Now, this is how you will bring the pages on your website. Now, that is how all the pages will look like, and what is the real, you can see here, and what is the source, so you can say view source. So, on the server, if you see that the pages are stored in this way. On the server, the pages are stored. Now, we can see that view source. So, basically this is the HTML tags and stuff, and that is what we did on the server side. But on the client side, we can see that there is a different stuff. So, this is called as our browser will request a server to give the page, server will read the file and will give the entire file, that is the .html file, to the browser. Now, browser will download the file and it will render the page. Now, what is meant by rendering? Rendering means it will try to go with each tag and it will take appropriate action on the browser and it will go with that. Here we can see that. Now, here we have our screen with the header like a demo, but when we see that the same demo or the same header, we can see that this is a plain text. So, what browser is doing? Browser is interpreting this screen, it is H2 and H2. So, those are the boundaries of the tag. So, in that boundaries we have mentioned this is the Apache demo, and the browser will understand the tag, or it understood the tag, and then it will render the page. So, all the activities, real activities are happening on the browser, not on the server. Server just give the static web page content. Now, we are just talking about pure web server. So, pure web server, what it will do? It will give the static pages like .css file, .images or JPEG or .html file, pure HTML files, and it will give as it is to the browser. Now, it is the browser work to render the page. Now, sometimes what happens, you may not able to access your website because it is behind some firewall, behind some infrastructure. So, at that time you may not able to use your web interface. So, for that you need to use a CLI browser. Now, this is generally we use the Gmail, we use Firefox or Chrome or Safari or whatever browsers we are having. But let us go and see how to do the testing from the CLI, that is a command line interface, and how we go with the browser. So, in the command line you have another browser which is called as eLinq. So, let us check that eLinq is available or not. So, eLinq is not available. So, let me quickly install the eLinq and then we will go with that. And the eLinq should get installed in couple of seconds, and we will wait till the download will happen and we will go with that. Now, once we have the eLinq, we will go and check the website. So, now let us go and see the website. So, I will say, hey, go with the eLinq, and I will go with the http:// and I will say 192.168.0.8 and I will press enter. Now, it will show me the content in the normal text, no jazzy screen, but it will just give me the normal natural screen. So, let us go and see that, and here it says starting the first time, yes please, and you can see here that we have the welcome screen, we have the welcome screen available, whatever is there. So, we have written welcome to DevOps, which is your title. Then you can see that this is the Apache demo, this is the header we give, and this is the body of the message. So, exactly you will get the same content, you will get the same content, and but there is no GUI, there is a plain text. Now, you can also visit other sites. Let us say you want to go to Google, so I can say Gmail. So, I will say hey eLinq, take me to the Gmail, and I can easily go with that Gmail. So, basically you can also, you can see that now you can go with the enter your email address and output, and you can go with that. Now, how to come out of the eLinq? You will press the button Q and then Y. So, I will pressing Q and then Y. So, you will safely come out of the part there. So, this is how we will work with the Linux. Now, this is just a introduction, this is just a glimpse that what we are going to cover. There are a lot of things we are going in depth, and there are a lot of things we are, so in this, like we have not discussed about anything like firewall or SE Linux and so on, but in real time scenario we will learn a lot of good things in the depth, and you will be able to understand how the web server works along with the database and the PHP and other stuff, and you can create. So, in real time when we go in the practical in the labs, we are installing Wiki, we are installing WordPress, we are installing Drupal, and we will get all hands on demonstration with that. So, thanks for joining this series, hope you liked it, you get some idea what is happening in the DevOps and why we are using the LAMP setup. So, please tune us with our channel, and thanks for joining. So, have a good day, have a nice time, take care, and bye bye. See you later in our channel.